Hi. Hopefully by now, after watching the videos and reading the resources, you know about the Asara B'Tevet, the 10th of Tevet, which commemorates the beginning of the siege on Jerusalem and eventually the destruction of the first temple by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Bavel. I would like to elaborate on another thing we commemorate on the day of Asara B'Tevet, and that is the Yom HaKadish HaKlali, which is also the Holocaust Memorial Day, which was established by the Chief Rabbinate of Israel many years ago at the beginning of the state, and it happens also on Asara B'Tevet, the 10th of Tevet. Why did the Chief Rabbinate choose this day? We know that there is another famous memorial day for the Holocaust, which happens on the month of Nisan. That is the day where the siren goes on and we stand and we have all the ceremonies. How come we have two? In order to understand, those who established the Memorial Day on the month of Nisan were the founding fathers of the State of Israel. They were looking for a symbolic day that will mention the heroism during the Holocaust. Unfortunately, most of the victims in the Holocaust, they didn't really fight for their freedom, and they were murdered brutally without a counterattack. However, the Warsaw Uprising, Mered Ghetto Warsha, the very famous one, was one of the only fightbacks that took place by Jews during the Holocaust. And as the State of Israel was a young and new country, the founding fathers wanted to have a day that will also inspire the new immigrants and all the Jews of the State of Israel to think of an event that symbolizes Jewish heroism, and they chose the Warsaw Uprising, Mered Ghetto Warsha, and the day we commemorate on the month of Nisan is the day where the uprising surrendered and came to an end. However, the Chief Rabbinate of Israel didn't want to add another day to the Jewish calendar, and they wanted to be based on an existing date. So they found the Asara B'Tevet, the 10th of Tevet, and they chose that day as a memorial day for the Holocaust. That issue led to many conflicts and arguments between the religious Jews and the Chief Rabbinate, and on the other hand with the founders of the State of Israel, which were mostly secular. And a lot of arguments, very heated up arguments and fights. Nowadays, also we can learn from this subject the way the festivals and memorial days, etc., how they were chosen back in the day. How did the state chose its festivals and day of commemoration? We can see this matter of Holocaust Memorial Day as a symbolic issue that can teach us in generally the way the state decided its dates. Nowadays we are more mature and we can understand complexity, and we know that there are many different point of views on each subject, and therefore we can understand on one hand the Chief Rabbinate's reason for choosing an already existing date in order to empower that day and really put the Holocaust within the Jewish calendar. On the other hand, we can understand why the founding fathers of the State of Israel chose the Warsaw Uprising as the day to commemorate in order to encourage the new immigrants and the new Jewish citizens of Israel to stand up and fight for their freedom. We can live with both opinions, and the Holocaust is a big enough tragedy to have 2 days to commemorate it, remember it, and learn from it. All the best.